We have seasonal artifacts and its perks. We have anti-barrier sidearms, flame, fiber, and freeze combine, solar strand, and solar stasis siphon mods into one, flint striker, rapid kills or rapid precision hits with solar weapons grant radiant. Unraveling orbs, picking up an orb of power, grant strand weapons, unraveling rounds. Horde shuttle, damaging unraveling targets with a weapon, occasionally spawns a threadling. Unstoppable hand cannon. Kindling trigger, radiant causes solar weapons to apply scorch to unscorched combatants. Torch, while radiant, deal increased weapon damage to combatants affected by strand or stasis debuffs. Pillar of ice, killing an encased combatant spawns a stasis crystal. Hellstorm, shattering encased targets and stasis crystal deal increased damage. Shattering a stasis crystal releases shards of ice that damage and slow targets. Unstoppable bows. Blast radius, rapid final blows with rockets and grenade launchers grant armor charges. Heart of Flame, casting your solar super grants nearby allies radiant and increases the damage of your super for each nearby ally. Revitalizing Blast, solar abilities weaken champions and bosses for a short duration. Razor Precision, while radiant, solar precision weapon blows cause combatants to ignite. Overload auto rifles. Origin perk specialization improves benefits provided by Sundering, nano munitions, and nanotech tracer rocket origin traits. Additional weapons with these traits always overcharge. Origin perk specialization 2 improves handling and benefits for noble deeds, unsalted hunger, head rush, and dragon's vengeance origin trait. Additionally, weapons with these traits gain an overcharge. Rockets are especially effective against overload champions. That's right, overload rockets. Solo operative, while being the final team member alive in your fire team, you deal increased damage to all combatants. Overload pulse rifle. From whence you came, increase ability damage to take and scorn combatants. Wished into being. While your super is nearly fully charged, ability final blows spawn orbs of power. Wearing Season of the Wish armor decreases super amount threshold. Dragon's Bite, breaking combatant shields with a strand or stasis weapon has a chance to suspend or freeze that combatant. While wearing Season of the Wish armor increases that chance. Argent Ordnance, firing a rocket launcher consumes one stack of armor charge, granting increased damage and reload speed until your rocket stows. Or if it's reloaded. Changes coming to abilities and exotics in the next season. Woven Mail, reduce damage resistance in PvE from 55 to 45. Restoration, reduce healing rate at restoration times 1. Old, 40 HP per second in PvE and 20 HP per second in PvP. New is now 35 HP per second in PvE and 17.5 HP per second in PvP. Reduce healing for restoration times 2. Old, 65 HP per second in PvE and 32.5 HP per second in PvP. Down to 50 in PvE and 25 in PvP. Devour healing amount changed from full HP to 100 HP unless Feed the Void is equipped. It also heals your health and shields more smoother. Changes to Feed the Void. Makes Devour heal better. Also increase grenade regeneration per kill while Devour is active, and that varies between what kind of enemy you kill. Tempest Strike, damage changed from 110 to 125, and general buffs to the tracking and tracking over rough terrain. Banner of War, increase the amount of enemies you need to kill to level up to the next level of Banner of War, and to compensate, they made it add more time per final kill. Also fixed a bug that let unpowered swords level it up, and they also extended the value of the extended duration depending on the enemy type that you kill. Solar Throwing Hammer, increase projectile tracking by 20%. Now when picking up a hammer, it recharges over a 1.4 second charge instead of immediately. Rip bonk hammer. Soul Invictus, reduced the time that a sunspot can be active from 20 seconds at max to 12 seconds at max. Increase recharge rates for Well and Bubble by about 40 seconds. On to stasis changes. Remove stat changes on the fragments Whisper of Hedrons, Whisper of Bonds, and Whisper of Shards. Whisper of Impetus now gives plus 10 resilience. Hunger no longer takes away 10 mobility and 10 intellect, but now 20 strength. Withering Blade, increased projectile speed and projectile lifetime by 10%, allows 3 bounces instead of 2, and increase the tracking. Winter Shroud got all PvE buffs. Increase the slow stacks from 40 to 60, increase the duration from 4 seconds to 8 seconds, and increase the distance by 1 meter from 8 to 9. Howl of the Storm got fixed to be more consistent. Shiver Strike now slows players on hit, and it now works with melee kickstarts, because apparently that was a bug. Glacier Quake now freezes nearby enemies. They just reduced the distance from 8 meters to 6 meters, a feature that Glacier Quake originally had. Frost Pulse is now more consistent against fast-moving targets, and they extended the range in PvE from 8 meters to 8.5. What that changes, I don't know. Glacier Grenade's cooldown has been changed from 152 seconds to 121. And cooldowns for all the grenades being equipped while Bleat Watcher is equipped have been changed, but they don't tell us how. Penumbral Blast increased the radius of the blast from 1.5 meters to 2. Here's the technical stuff for Cold Snap changes. Basically, it's just more consistent and it's bigger. I don't know what that means, but they tuned other stasis fragments and harvesting aspects. They're also adding a new stasis verb, which is Frost Armor, and it's supposed to help with survivability on stasis. And increase special weapon damage from a 5% bonus to a 10%. On to exotic changes. First up is Hunter. First up is Shards of Galanor. Throwing knife kills give you more super energy, ranging from 2.5 to 5%, depending on the enemy that you kill. I have no idea if that is different from what it is now, or if that's in addition to. They don't really go in, and unless I say otherwise, I don't know. Ophidia Spaith. Throwing knife kills now grant a progressive stacking damage bonus from 30 to 60, then to 100% that lasts for 5 seconds, and dodging refreshes that cooldown. Stumpies basically went to the way that they were before, except now against combatants, you take less damage in the air. I don't know if that means PvP or not, but usually that means PvE. Here's the exact changes for Mechanier's Trick Sleeve for the 3 people that actually care about it. Now for Bombardiers, when Stasis is equipped, you now give 20 stacks of slow to enemies in PvP, and then 40 in PvE. Triton Vice, the exotic that no one cared about, now buffs glaive damage in both PvP and PvE to 100% bonus damage when surrounded by enemies, up from 30 and 10. Celestial Nighthawk, Precision Final Blows give you back parts of your super anywhere from 1.5 to 4.5%. On to Titans. First up, we have Severance Enclosure. Kills with the explosion cause another explosion, and they increase the damage of the explosion and just the size of it. Peregrine Greaves now does extra damage to champions and refunds your shoulder charge more. I don't know what that means. And then also they kind of nerfed it where you had to be in the air a little bit longer than normal. Wormgod Caress got a lot of changes. Here they are. The biggest one that I know is when the meter's full, you get some bonus weapon damage. We don't know what it is, so I guess we'll see what that ends up being. And my favorite Titan exotic change, Ashen Wake impact of fusion grenades stuns unstoppables. That sounds sick. Synthocep's got a removal of its damage lunge. The damage is down from 200 to 165% damage. The damage for glaives are from 50% to now 100%, and we also got bonus handling and other stats whenever surrounded. Precious Scars, kills with a weapon matching your subtype give you restoration for 1 second in PvP and 3 seconds in PvE. Next up is Warlock, and first we have Baldor's Wrathweaver. Putting down a Frost Pulse Rift gives you 2 stacks of Stasis Surge mods, and it lasts for 10 seconds in PvE and 2 seconds in PvP, and it gives you 50 HP for Overshields. Winter's Wrath Shock now gives you a Tier 4 Surge buff, and after it ends, you also get a Tier 4 Surge buff for Stasis weapons yourself. Apotheosis Veil kind of sounds like it's getting updated for the Final Shapes Radiant subclass, but we have 8 seconds of melee and grenade regeneration after your super ends, and casting your super grants Tier 3 Cure to you and nearby allies. So that's literally going to be the subclass, or the exotic for the new subclass in the Final Shape. Felwinter's Helm got its tier upped on its finishers for combatants. I don't know what that means. I don't know how the exotic works, but there you go. Melee kills with Karnsteins now grants Tier 3 Cure and Tier 1 Restoration for 3 seconds, and finishers do the same exact thing except for Tier 2 Restoration for 8 seconds. Aeon changes. I'm not reading all that. Pause the video because nobody actually uses Aeons except for heavy ammo. Next up, we have sales for the Bungie store. Bungie's got a bunch of stuff on sale, including old retired stuff that they don't have in the Bungie store anymore for limited quantities, and that starts on the 24th and it lasts until the 28th, and that also includes DLCs apparently. I have no idea what it actually includes, but I don't know. I check my Twitter, I'll retweet it. And then we got the Fireteam Finder, the LFG beta, which will be launching on November 30th, and will have a short run. It'll be released later in January during Season of the Witch. They kind of go over some of the stuff for it. If you care about that, I'll put a link to that article because it is a separate article from the TWAB, and these reviews are supposed to be under 2 minutes for TWABs, and this one's way too big to fit under 2 minutes. So hopefully, within editing, I've managed to squeeze this down to at least 10 minutes instead of an hour like everyone else's. If you guys enjoyed it, please like this video. Please subscribe, follow, I don't know, whatever. It helps me out. Makes me want to do more. And plus, where else can you get this kind of content within 10 minutes instead of watching an hour-long video from anyone else? Thanks for watching, guys, and see you in the next one.